wanted to clear the air on what happened between everyone in the fold and Goddess Mia, what started it mostly, and her and against everyone else. So it all started with this woman, Cuban woman, little Nikki Cubana, I think was her name at the time, and her trans son ended up talking to one of Goddess Mia's followers, who ended up saying some transphobic shit. So they went to Goddess Mia and was like, hey, one of your followers said some transphobic shit. And so Goddess Mia said, let me see if I can go talk to the person. She did. She got the person to understand what was said was wrong and told them go apologize. They did. The mom and the son did not accept the apology. I think they had said that it wasn't genuine or something like that. I don't really remember the reason, but nobody has to accept an apology that they don't feel is acceptable to the transgression that happened. So I don't fault her for that at all. They did go after Mia because she stuck by the person. Because Mia was like, they took responsibility, they learned, they changed their ways away from that. So I'm not gonna abandon someone that has taken all the steps that I asked of them and did the work and has been loyal to me. I'm not gonna abandon them. That person ended up being disloyal to her. She ended up being, abandoned by that person anyway. But she did the right thing. She stuck up for someone that was loyal to her and stuck by them because of the fact that they took the steps that were needed. I don't fault either side for what they did for that. Then it was taken a lot further because the mom got on a YouTube kind of group chat with a whole bunch of people, including Rabbi. I think Cuban Delight was in that. But just a whole bunch of people, and they were, of course, going and attacking Mia over the shit that, because she was sticking by the person and they didn't like that. They were going and attacking the person that said the shit. And then they went and attacked one of Mia's friends that had nothing to do with the situation, and it was one of the sweetest people that you can meet. And that's what I got mad at, because it turned from her being mad at someone going after her son and her just making fun of someone innocent that had nothing to do with it. And at that point, that's when I started going around to everyone involved and seeing what the heck is going on so I can try to help stop it if possible. And also call to account that you're not making two wrongs don't make a right. You can't make fun of someone innocent and be mad at somebody else that at least tried to make it right. It didn't make any sense. So I went, and after Cuban Delight made a video about Goddess Mia and called her a chihuahua, I went and talked to her and in her live. And at the time, she had the mom in her live, and she was still going off about Mia. But I wanted to get everyone's side of the story, not just take Mia's side, just because at the time I was following her, because I was also following Vanessa. I was following pretty much everyone involved except for a few, like Cuban Delight and Rabbi. I wasn't following him either. But I went to Cuban Delight and I was like, hey, why did you call Mia a chihuahua that's childish and it's not helping anything, and she never attacked you, so what are you doing? And but because she had Nikki in there, I think that's her name, and she was just letting her go, explain her thing, and she's like, look what she did to her. Like, I understand what she is having, going on with Nikki, but you're not helping the situation, and I'm not understanding where you fit in. But she's like, why does it matter what I say if it's it? Why does she care what somebody say about her? I'm like, look, I understand, but why are you going after her? She's like, you always stick with your skin rather than some white ally. You always stick. You gotta stay loyal to other black people. I'm like, I don't do loyalty because of skin color. I always do loyalty because of loyal. If you're loyal to me, I'm gonna be loyal to you, and that's why I understood why Mia was being loyal to the woman, because the woman was loyal to her, and she did the right thing eventually. So I was like, we're not in agreement about that, but I understand, you sticking with Nikki and trying to, be on the right side of sticking by a trans kid as a trans man. I get it, but nothing was solved in that. But I just wanted, and I also heard from Nikki her side, which was more helpful. And she explained no, she was not going to accept that apology, and explain why. So, and I explained to her, I completely understand. No, but your grievance is valid, and nobody can make you accept an apology, especially one that you don't feel is genuine. So, then Vanessa split from the fold because she was hurt by them letting somebody in that she felt shouldn't have been let back into the fold, that did wrong by her. And then she went over and was talking with Mia and sided with Mia, and Mia always already split from the fold. Why? I don't know. But then Mia really started fighting with the fold with Vanessa. It grew and grew and grew and changed from the original fight to including Vanessa's fight. But then Vanessa started learning that all this shit that Heather Sheridan was saying that was racist, and confronted Mia about it and said, hey, why are you protecting this racist that's going around the internet saying the N-word, admitting that she's saying the N-word to multiple people whenever she feels like it's deserved, and why are you sticking by her side? Mia doesn't like that, and all of a sudden splits with Vanessa. And Alicia was also sticking by Nikki and Cuban Delight at the time, because Alicia had problems with North Home Hot Cat Lady being rude to her in her DMs, and went to Mia and was like, hey, you keep North Home Hot Cat Lady by your side, so she's being rude to a fellow black woman, you gonna do something about it? Mia didn't want nothing to do with that about it. So Alicia was like, all right, fine, you don't want to stick up for a fellow black woman against your little puppy dog, fuck it, I'm gone. I had a problem with North Homo Cat Lady myself, being ableist and then being rude and not fucking listening, even though she thought she knew more about autism than an autistic man, but whatever. And then I started seeing the shit about Heather Sheridan as well, and I went and I asked Mia publicly and privately, why was she standing by Heather when she's out here saying the N-word and being racist and calling the cops on black people and trying to get them fired? She didn't like that, and she blew up and let her other followers come after me, and it didn't matter if they were white, black, didn't matter to her. She just let them all attack me, got my account mass reported, then eventually banned because of her, because I dared ask why she was protecting a white supremacist. Why? Because even though she says that she's fighting for all, she does some ableist shit. She says some transphobic shit herself. And she has a problem with any black person that is a shade darker, not darker, lighter than her. Because you'll see in her videos, if a light-skinned black person dares to say anything that she don't like, she'll go off on them and treat them like shit, no matter how they approach her. But even if a black person with darker skin is rude to her, she'll still approach them with more respect. Even if you are a follower of her, if you are lighter than her, you better not question a damn thing she says, or she will have no more respect for you. Because she only has respect for you when you're going on with everything she says. The moment you question her is the moment you see her true colors. You can look at her former business manager. She keeps on accusing him of stealing her company, but she never owned it. He owned the company. He tried to sell her the company for months for $1, which is what he legally had to do in order to transfer ownership. He told her, give me $1, sign the papers, get a bank account in your name, and just pay me back for all the merchandise that I already bought for you, and you can have your company. That's all he wanted. I think after you buy a few $100s worth of fucking merchandise for someone and run the company for them, including putting your own business license on the line for them, asking just to be compensated for what you have on you, to hand it over, break even. I think that's pretty nice, especially after she spent a long time dragging his name through the mud, accusing him of everything from being a thief to a predator to racist. He was still trying to be nice and just hand over the company, and was still being respectful. She has turned on so many people and dragged their name through the mud just because they dared question one or two things about her. And she keeps lying. Vanessa found out the hard way. I found out the hard way. I originally started following her because I thought she was a narcissist, and I was hoping that she would prove me wrong because she still reminded me of my aunts. But she just proved me right. So make sure you're following the right people. Are the other side spotless? Heck no. Nobody is. I told Cuba she shouldn't have called me a chihuahua. I told Vanessa, yeah, T. Nathan and the men in the fold, they do misogynistic shit sometimes because they're men and they're going to make mistakes. But nobody should be calling the cops trying to get a black man thrown in jail. Nobody should be calling the cops trying to get children taken away from their mothers. Nobody should be doxing. And the current accusations on Cuba doxing anyone are false. All she did was say the name of a person and what account handle they had. Saying Holly Miller has the account handle, username Holly Miller 101 as an example, made up person, made up handle. That's not doxing someone. That's just saying this person owns this username. And all she was doing was making a list of people, and she said, here's this person's username, this person's username. Here's the people to avoid. That's it. She didn't dox anyone. As far as Mia's address being out there and phone number, Vanessa told her months ago, more than 11 months ago, that her information was out there because of her putting it out there, and told her that she needed to go on the websites, make her Facebook private, make her Spotify private that had her full name on it, and not donate to her GoFundMe using her full name. She did that on her own. She could have made it anonymous, but she didn't. She made it on for her full freaking name. And that her full name and address and phone number were on a freaking Dem website when she signed up to be a Democrat. She told her where to go to have her shit removed to protect her, and she did not. When you post shit publicly and other people share it, it's not doxing. That's how we get racist people fired from their jobs, because we post their publicly available shit from Facebook or LinkedIn. Now, if you go and you do background checks on someone and you post their information, then that is doxing. But I haven't seen anyone dox Mia when her information is very easily found on the internet, posted by her, or with her permission. So this stuff, all of it needs to stop. All of the shit talking, all of the doxing needs to stop. We need to go back to what we were doing, fighting for our rights. But the truth does need to be out there, because too many people who are in this are just blindly mad now and accusing others of doing shit that are not. You guys are working yourselves up more and more and more and keeping this fight going when it needs to stop now. Let it stop. But I'm going to make sure that everyone's followers actually knows the truth. No more gaslighting. No more lies. Only truth.